Hi, everyone. This is Rocco Polino from Innovative Cloud Solutions. And in this video, we want to introduce you to the new user interface that you will be seeing in the move as we move PRM from QTC's on-premise version out to the Microsoft Cloud. We'll begin this introduction with just a quick glance at some of the key visual functions of PRM as you know it today. So for instance, when you log into PRM, if you want to navigate to any portion of the system, currently you go up to the workplace and you can see a flyaway menu, we refer to it, and you could navigate to different elements of the system. You could see here accounts and contacts. Contacts would be providers, and then the different component elements or entities of the system, like the provider request form, travel requests, and so on. Frequently, you can access these different components from within the form you're working on, for instance, the provider request form. Now, the menu will appear when you click on the navigation, and when you move away from it, the navigation will disappear, and whatever it is that you navigated to will show up. So for instance, when you pull up a provider record, this is what the current provider record looks like. And one thing that stands out is the amount of white space that you see. Information is kind of appears in the fields, and a big part of the navigation is we refer to it as the hamburger. You click on these bars and you'll see different tabs of the system. And when you click on a tab, it will take you to that section of the system. But the forms are very much oriented north-south or up-down. You have to scroll down or use the navigation in the tabs to get to the area that you want to work on. And when you get to that area, a lot of times you'll find fields that are repetitive and above one another and so on. As we continue down the navigation of the forms, the next piece of the system would be the views. So here I'm in the provider request area, and I'm seeing all of the views. And as a user, you know which ones are the ones you need access to, and you would select from the long list of views that are available. Now, the project to move to the cloud is broken into two components. The first is getting you there, this is a process that began several months ago. We had interviews with many of you, and during those interviews, we asked, well, what are some of the rough points that you would like to see improved? And those improvements were separated into two categories: the ones that we could fit in between now and moving to the cloud. And the second would be longer term improvements where if you're depending on your role, if you're a provider liaison, for example, we would only provide you or show you the views and the entities that make sense to the role that you play, as opposed to having to see everything. So this is the first installment, the getting you to the cloud with some improvements, and in subsequent videos we'll talk about what some of those improvements are. And then lastly, if I bring up the provider request form, you can see I have 3 columns of information across, and just like in the provider record, we have the hamburger with tabs that I could navigate down to. So this is the current version of the system. The second part of this video will show you these same functions, but show them to you within the from the new version, the new